All right, we can get started. Sorry for the delay. We hope other people are really joining in. And now I'm going to be sharing my screen as we really get started. Right. Um, status. Okay. So you guys, when you are able to see my screen, kindly tell me and I get started. Okay, can you confirm that you can see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Right, okay, I think I can now get started. Yes, you're welcome. This is like a question, is data science for you? Now, the fact that you guys have chosen or have decided to be part of this webinar is partly one of the answers to this question. You know, taking the first step is always for you to uh, get out of your comfort zone, seek out for resources that can help you to understand about the field, and of course also you look at the skills that are necessary for the field, and you take another step of you trying your best to learn the skills. Yes. Now, I am not going to be like I've been defined, and I'm a data scientist, both in by practice and training. And I'm currently the Chief of Data Products and Training at RIDEA and the affiliated RIDEA Institute of Data Science. So we are going to have a simple outline, and once we've covered all this, then we shall call it a day. This is going to take very few minutes, and I am sure we shall also have some bit of questions in the end for us to be able to understand a little bit more of what you guys actually need. So part of what you raised as expectations at the beginning is what we are going to cover here. And the first, we are going to have simple introduction to data science. We shall understand what data science is. We shall look at the benefits of data science, advantages or pros of data science. Of course, also I'll hint out on some of the cons of data science. Then the skills needed, like you guys were saying, where to start from. Then we shall look at the future of data science in Africa with focus on Uganda, have a conclusion, and also have an introduction to an exclusive offer for you guys who may want to get started on this data science journey. Now, I'll just give you a preamble. This one has gotten into a series of transformations in the name of revolutions. Way back, you guys have heard about what we call the Industrial Revolution, but before the Industrial Revolution, there was also other revolutions. We began with farmers who just focused on subsistence farming just for their homes. Then they started expanding. Then after that, we had the Industrial Revolution. Then we came into the era of automation. Today we have the fourth industrial revolution that is known as the revolution of AI. Now, as all this came into play, people were looking at ways of starting to do things with less effort and much productivity. That is when now industries, machines came in. Now people came into automation way back. Even the car manufacturing companies used to hire people to be on every station, but now automation came in with some bit of machines to do that work. Later on, they realized that, oh, this automation actually brings in a lot of data. Sometimes before a breakdown of a system, there could be particular signals. At first, they could be ignored. Later on, they started reading these signals. They realized that they're communicating something. So, and if they paid some bit of attention to it, of course, they would save a bunch of losses that at times they could undergo through. So, they started now building systems that focus on capturing the data. So, after getting enough data, or after realizing that now, okay, we are getting enough data, what next? Now, As we talk today in the world, data is the king. When you look at the top richest companies, all tech guys, they are all in technology. Look at Elon Musk is into technology. Look at Zuckerberg. Look at the Microsoft guy, the Google guy, and so many others. It's no longer the Rockefellers who are into oil. So because data and oil have some things in common, you'll hear about data mining, feature engineering. So they try to relate it because it is now the king. And now organizations, businesses, and individuals, they are all generate a lot of data. Your smartphone alone every day generates a lot of data. Every message you send on TikTok, that is data. Meta is able to get that data. Every message, every like you click on Twitter, on Facebook, those guys are gathering data. So you can imagine what data can do. So this is how the evolution has been coming. And today we are now able to see that there is data, but yes, if there is a lot of data, we can ask ourselves, yes, what next with this data? So this is where the component of what we call data science comes in on this data. So data science comes in to bring in a solution to this data. So because data holds the potential to unlock valuable insights, it holds the potential to improve decision making, to drive innovation, it can do a lot really. And data science comes in to help us make sense out of this data. And in this presentation, we'll explore the exciting world of data science, looking at its benefits, skills you need, and how best you can get started in the field. I can move on my next slide, which now is asking us what is data science. Now, data science is basically, in simple terms, when you go to internet, you can get as many definitions as you can, but I can define it simply as the process of deriving insights from data to inform decisions, innovate, and solve complex problems. Now, there are problems or issues that the ordinary data analysis cannot really help us to resolve. For example, data science can help us dig into predictions, into automation, and so on. Later on, we shall look at the relationship between data science, machine learning, and AI. Now, that one, the traditional data analysis cannot. So that is where data science comes in. So, and what is it made up of? Let us look at this very critically for you guys wanted to get started, wanted to understand what they need actually to get out there as data scientists. First of all, you need to have programming skills or computer science. Now, this is don't be put off by these terms. Programming, computer science, that is nothing. So this is basically the ability to write and understand code, to manipulate and analyze data. So basically, that is the purpose of programming. So after that, you'll need some bit of math, probability, and statistics skills. Now, math skills are like linear algebra and of course some bit of probability can just very essential for understanding and implementing algorithms for tasks. So there are moments you look at what you might call it regression, classification, and others. So you having some bit of these math skills can actually help you understand those ones better. So now you may not have done math, let's say at the university or at A level. So all you need is the love for math. I can tell you that O-level mathematics is enough for you to delve into data science. And all that it takes is the passion and your ability not to give up when you start on the learning journey. Now, the third component is the domain knowledge. Now, domain knowledge is basically you to be able to understand a particular field where you can apply this data science. For example, healthcare, business, agriculture, it can be tech. So what I can say is any field that you're in, you can apply data science. So it is not limited to technology alone or to tech-related activities, but every field. Now, there are fields which are still virgin. So you can be in agriculture, you can be in environment, climate change. So many projects are coming up on climate change, and the application of data science is everywhere. So the third thing is actually more or less not even anything. All you need is to just understand how to apply it. For example, you can see people who do statistics, those who work in healthcare, they are called by statisticians, who work in other fields. Others are called financial analysts and so on. So it is the same thing with data science. All you need to just have some bit of an understanding of a domain, and you can be able to apply data science to solve the problems. Now, I'm going to advise you, don't limit yourself to one domain. Explore as many domains as you can. You can do healthcare, you can do with agriculture, you can do business, e-commerce, and so on. So explore as many as you can. So data science, machine learning, and AI. I'm going to just briefly talk about this. Data science, machine learning, and artificial intelligence are closely related fields that build upon each other. Now, in data science, we basically extract insights. In machine learning, we build models that can help us in the predictions. And of course, in the AI and machine learning, they are closely related also. And here now we look into automating decision-making processes. So the traditional way of doing things is we use more of the if, the condition, and so on. If this and this happens, then do this. Now, in artificial intelligence, we use data and we train this machine or computer to learn from this data, the way the humans actually can learn. When you make a mistake, you're now not supposed to step here because I'll fall, this and that. So even the machine is able to do that. So different from the traditional of telling something or tasking a machine to do something. When we use artificial intelligence to automate these tasks, we use data where the machine actually learns and it keeps on improving over time. So the easiest I can give today is the ChatGPT. Many of you use ChatGPT. Sometimes it can give you a wrong response. So when you tell it, okay, this is wrong, it will end up learning and it will keep improving. And even today, you can say that at times it can even ask you how was the response. So depending on the answer you give, of course, it keeps learning. So that is AI. So for you to get into machine learning and AI, the very basic requirement you need to have is some bit of data science skills. Because in data science is where now you're going to do data wrangling or data cleaning, to do some preliminary exploratory data analysis, to do some preliminary model building, to do visualizations. Now, when it comes to machine learning, when you're building these models, you already have your clean data, you already have your well-set features and so on. So you can be able to build very good models. So 3 is, this should be a mistake. Looking at the benefits of data science. Now, just go through them briefly. There is improved decision making, because today we even hold the power to even sometimes predict, so we can easily make better decisions. So I've written models where a client is actually able to make a decision depending on input of small data. So that comes as a result of some bit of data science. So you're able, for example, if I'm talking about people in the lending, in the banking sector, if you want to lend money to a particular client, depending on the data of how people have been defaulting, their features and so on, a new client can come, you put in a few things, and the computer will flag it and say, okay, this one is likely to default, and it can be at times as 99% accurate. So that is the power of data science. Enhanced efficiency and productivity, competitive advantage. There's also some bit of innovation and business growth because of data science. So the pros of data science or the advantages. So we can look at data science has a very high demand and growth. All of you can see this. I think wherever you go, you can see data science. Even the jobs that they advertise nowadays, you no longer see statistician, by the way. If you guys are keen, you'll see either data analyst or data scientist, which also make you realize that, okay, the world is advancing and it is moving in a different direction. So in statistics, actually, someone who had Excel skills and some bit of SPSS, you people, I'm sure you're familiar with SPSS, you could go along and do your statistics, you know. But today, because of the complexity and the different the variety of data from different sources. Sometimes you just assume a conversation on Twitter. Someone can analyze it and they get insights. For example, Twitter guys are even able to show you ads. Let's say Facebook is able to show you ads and do this and that because of the data, the things you like, the conversations you do. So if you're keen, even on TikTok, the videos you're likely to watch are likely to be the videos that they recommend you from the different content creators. So all that is because of data science, machine learning, and some bit of AI. So intellectual challenge, of course, as you try different models. For example, sometimes looking at the data, the nature, what exploratory data analysis has given you, then it will make you to try out different models, and you choose out a model that best fits uh, your problem of at hand. So all this in data science, it's not pretty straightforward that you're going to just write something and you'll get it. Sometimes you may have to go through a series of processes, testing a model that you're deriving. Sometimes some models, depending on how complex it is, on even how complex the features are, can even take a month when you're still trying to analyze this model, making sure that you have the best accuracy and other parameters in set. Competitive salaries, of course, data science. When you go to Google and search, they will tell you data science is the sexiest job of the 20th century. So it's one of the highest paying jobs. Now, in Africa and Uganda, it's not as that, but still, if you're keen, even statisticians tend to actually earn higher salaries as compared to other sectors because they drive a growth in a company. So you can also make a real impact. At times there are so many problems that data science can solve. So being a part of a team that can drive models that can solve problems really is also fulfilling on its own. So I shall look at, okay, the skills needed to become a great data scientist. What are they? So we looked at what data science is comprising of. Of course, when you go, you search more, you land on, that Venn diagram, reset Venn diagram, and you'll be able to see those skills will be grouped, and in between you see, okay, hacking, you see research, you see, so all of them I just summarized. But now each of those skills or each of those I would say components will require particular skills for you to achieve. For example, when you talk about programming, you need skills in Python, R, and SQL. Now, you can either have Python or R, but SQL is structured query language. That is a database language. Because data is usually stored in a database, you may need to have some bit of skills in SQL. So Python and R are both as strong and powerful programming languages, depending on your background. Some people with some bit of background in statistics that have dealt with all that before, R might be easier. All those that have been in scientific research, R might be the best. But those ones from a computer background, Python can be. Those ones from nowhere, like myself, any can actually work. So I can say, don't rush to start learning Python, R, and SQL at the same time. I would advise you can start with one of the core programming languages, either Python or R. Then after that, you can go to SQL. So if you want to nail this, so you can start with Python or R, then you can go to SQL. Now you need some bit of probability statistics and mathematics knowledge. Now, I don't want you to start and you start learning linear algebra, you do this and that. Just start with the simple probability. That can give you what you need. Some bit of machine learning knowledge, this is when it comes to models, but don't worry about this, this can come later on. But you also need data visualization as a data scientist. Now, one of the tools you can't believe is Excel. It does very good visuals. You need Power BI, you need Tableau. Don't start Power BI and Tableau at the same time. Please handle probably Power BI, Maybe later on you can go to Tableau or start with Tableau. Don't learn both of them at the same time. But instead, you having very good Excel skills. Now, from experience, I've cleaned the data in Excel. You cannot use just one tool for you to accomplish what you want. For example, most of the data, if it is not a database, it will be in form of spreadsheet. It can be a CSV, comma separated values file. It can be a text file and so on. So Excel can actually help you to do some preliminary data cleaning, do the filters, even some exploratory data analysis if that is what you want. And in fact, some companies, however much they might be interested in data scientists, they realize that at times they just need someone that is going to play with spreadsheets, or they just need even simple reports. So Excel is a key tool that you need. So, and of course, later on, they will tell you about big data tools like Spark, Hadoop. Please don't rush to go into that. You first master these simple ones. Later on, as you've mastered this, of course, you can be able to also delve into others. So there are also soft skills that you need. You need proper communication. This also comes with some bit of presentation. Sorry. Okay, so communication, as a data scientist, you're going to work with other teams. So you may have to explain to the executive who may not really have a lot of knowledge about data science. So you may need to communicate with different teams requiring or gathering their requirements. So communication is really key. Presentation skills are very key. Later on, after you've gone through all this mess, you'll have to present this to the stakeholders. You need critical thinking. It's not pretty straightforward. You need problem solving skills as well. So, like I said, at times data science at one point is like try and error. So you try a model, it doesn't work. However much all the parameters have been fulfilled, there are instances where a particular model may not apply. So you may need to have to apply a different model. So also a bit of teamwork. You need to work with both the internal as a data team and also other external teams. You need to work together because like we saw, you support other people do their work well and more effectively as a data scientist. So where do you start from? Where do you start your journey as a data scientist? Now, you can go from education, let's say bachelor's or master's degree, but I'm going to be very, very honest. This may not be the best place to hone your skills. A degree may be needed in particular jobs or at a particular level, but if you want to acquire real skills, that may not be the best place. Online courses and boot camps, yes, that is a place you can get skills. Here, I have gathered a number of skills through online courses and boot camps. Self-learning is also another very critical place where you can gather the skills because beyond online courses and boot camps, there are things you're going to have to learn on your own. However, you cannot begin, well, you can, but it is hard for you to begin with self-learning because you don't know what to learn, what to start with. You don't know how far you should go. Also, going to YouTube to start learning, I recommend it. It is very beautiful. However, at times, as you're looking at this YouTube video, there are things, there are fundamentals, there are basics you may miss out, okay, in the field, because a YouTube guy will just go straight to the point, but there is some knowledge that you may need to acquire. Even when it comes to acing interviews, there is knowledge, basic knowledge you may need that if you went straight on YouTube to start self-learning, you may not acquire. So I may advise if you can, you do some bit of online courses or boot camps from experience. If you can do a formal degree in data science, that's perfect. Please, you can do a master's in data science. There are so many masters out there. However, like I said, from experience, this is not the best place. Now, I'll share some bit of my experience. I have done so far 4 master's degrees and I opt out. 3 of them are data science related, another one is health informatics. Now, one of the reasons I do that is they are not as practical as possible. Sometimes what you need to learn in a week, they want you to take a full year. So Well, if you're like me, that may not work for you. However, in particular things or instances, as a consultant or as this person as a senior data scientist, some jobs may require a master's degree, but trust me, so many data science jobs, especially outside Uganda, do not require a degree. What matters most is, do you have the skill? That is actually what matters most. The future of data science in Africa, there is rapid growth. You can see this. Like I said at the start of the presentation, currently the pay is not all that good. However, there is improvement. However, this is a field that is growing. Actually, in Africa, there are more opportunities for you to grow as a data scientist than elsewhere. They also need to focus on local challenges. So as people focus on the local challenges, they are now able to say, okay, guys, what we need. And the more they focus on local challenges, the more employment opportunities are created. And also, Africa is a very big untapped potential. Recently, I was talking to a very renowned person here in Uganda, and I was introducing some bit of what we can do, and this person was busy telling me, okay, we wanted to implement this at a particular ministry, and we didn't know that you guys, there is anyone that can implement this. And they are just in a hurry to hire us to some bit of implement some of the models uh, in that ministry. We've had trainings at Ministry of Health also, and the fact is, so many people are not aware about this. Even professors, sorry to say, you can't say that professors are not knowledgeable. No, it has come later on when they have already acquired whatever they have acquired. So it is now a new learning curve that they need to sort of take up. So this is a very virgin field that you guys, if you focus and you acquire the skills, the sky can't be the limit for you, because beyond the sky there is God that can give you all the power and the potential to learn whatever you need. Now, I'm not welcome questions because my presentation is going to end here. However, I also want to introduce an offer. At Vidya Institute of Data Science, we focus on training, analytics, data science, machine learning, and some bit of deep learning, which is AI. Now, we usually have boot camps and online courses. Now, we prefer move the boot camps because in a boot camp, if someone focused for 5 solid days, they can leave when they can now start to learn stuff, whatever they want on their own. If you got a boot camp of data science with Python for 5 solid days, after the boot camp, you can learn anything in that line. Maybe you can just want to advance, probably you want to now start into machine learning and you start wondering, okay, where do I start from? That is where you may need some other guidance. So as you learn data science, you may need a coach or a mentor. This kind of a person that should guide you. Learning the hard way you can, but it will take you a lot of time. But it is really very, very possible because you learn you try a lot of things, you'll fail in so many ways. And of course, the more you fail is the more you become a star. But it will take you a lot of time. Which still, when you get sort of maybe online training or a boot camp, still after getting the basics and after getting a little bit advanced, of course, you can now start to do things on your own. So we have a boot camp that is starting on Monday, 4th to 8th. It is 5 solid days. Now, we start from 9 to about 4 p.m. in the evening. And every day you're going to go through a series of things. For example, in the first day, we are going to just look at what data science is in detail. We also get started with Python, the programming language for data science. And the second day, we shall continue to dive into Python. You see, dedicating a full day to learning Python, you learn a lot. So even as you practice and as you advance on your own, of course, you'll have enough skills for you to push on. So we shall also now look into a data scientist spends over 70% of their time cleaning data, feature engineering. So we shall also look at some bit of feature engineering in that bootcamp. So Then we shall go into what we call now the exploratory or the data analysis. We shall fit a few models and also look at visualization. Trust me, by the end of this boot camp, you'll have gathered enough sort of knowledge for you to get out there and do stuff and also keep learning on your own. So this boot camp online goes for $100. Local people, it's 350. However, people joining this boot camp, because you guys show interest and you express that you want to get started, we are going to give you a 50% scholarship if you're to do online. So that implies that instead of you paying the 350, you're going to pay only that is about 180. So you're only going to pay 180,000 for that boot camp. Monday to Friday, you can do morning 9 to 3, or you can do evening. For those of you who may not have a break of work, you can do evening. We shall have recordings for the boot camp. And of course, also you're going to have a mentor. After the 1 week, you'll be given until the end of the month to practice, to disturb us, to ask any questions so that you come out refined. So I think that is it on my end. You guys can ask questions in 10 minutes, then we close this. Thank you. Any questions? Kindly just unmute and ask. If you have, if not, you can also feel free to drop this in chat. If you have a question, I don't see any questions on chat, but please feel free to raise up your hand. Feel free to unmute. Feel free to post your question in chat. Maybe if someone missed and there is something they need clarification on, kindly ask. However, recording is going to be shared for those that missed entirely. Yes, and if there are no questions, we may have to end this boot camp here. However, I'm going to share a link for those that may have interest in the boot camp, where they can go and register. Yes, guys, so no one has a question. So should I assume that you guys understood everything that I talked about during our discussion? Mori understood, okay. Jethro also understood. Okay. So others, all right. So if that is the case, I hope you guys have gotten this link. Kindly follow it. If not, you can send us a WhatsApp and just say I was part of the webinar and I would love to be part of the Data Science with Python Bootcamp. So we shall be able to attend you. We shall apply that 50% that we promised you. Otherwise, I am sure we sent you messages, that very WhatsApp, we sent you that message on. So we shall have to get started. So Tumwebas is asking about which program are we to use. So people who are doing online, we shall use Google Meet like we do here. We shall learn data science with Python for the first training. We are going to focus on Python. So, but those who want, of course, we have other trainings. When you visit our website, reads.ac.ug, we do R and so many others. So otherwise, putting that aside, I hope we can, someone can give us a closing prayer and we end it here. Thank you so much for being part of this. Yes, Monday, you have to ask a question. Is it okay to ask a question, Senabia?
When you say,
Sorry?
Senator, you can mute.
It seemed
Maybe
like
you can mute him. Also, excuse me.
okay.
Also those that there are people that find hard times learning or understanding online. There is also an option of physical. You can also choose to attend physically.
All right. So thank you so much for that. Those who want, they can do physical. Still, the 50% scholarship applies. Okay, you can take on Claire, and probably we pray and call it a day.
Thank you so much.